Morning, guys. Hope you're well. I haven't posted in quite a while, so I really apologize for that. We're still in lockdown here in South Africa, believe it or not. Possibly one of the longest lockdowns in the world at the moment. But I thought I'd update you on my fish this morning, and then also maybe just give you some hints and tips around parasites and dealing with parasites in your pond, seen as though we're dealing with seasonal change at the moment as we kind of move properly into winter, especially here in the southern hemisphere. Okay, you guys wouldn't have seen these guys for a while, and they're looking really incredible. So the water is a bit greenish. We've had a huge amount of rain here the last couple of days, but yeah, the fish are looking really good. And to put it in perspective, I mean, I've obviously got the phone on a setting here. When I zoom in, some of these fish are actually way bigger than they look. For instance, that Sankey there is well over 70 centimeters. And some of my bigger ones, this Yamabuki Ogon, coming along the edge here now, is over 80 centimeters, as is the Kohaku on the left. So yeah, doing really well, still eating really well, even though it's absolutely freezing here at the moment. The water's freezing. I reckon it's down maybe even below 14 at the moment. But yeah, the fish still active and still eating. I've actually got some pellets on the surface. You might be able to see them. That's the whole school. Whole lot of little jumbo tossais in the back there. Those are actually fish I'm selling. Some of them have been sold, some of them are still for sale, but I've just put them in my main pond so I can maximize their growth and make sure they don't miss out by keeping them in pretty cramped conditions. So in the main pond here, at least they'll grow and they'll develop really nicely. Actually chasing around after them as they swim. The bulk is quite incredible at the moment. I'm feeding a mixture of wheat germ, some growth pellets, and some shogun. I always feel like shogun is the thing that they really want to eat. Sorry hikari, but they really like the taste of the shogun. So I mix that in with the hikari and then actually get them to eat the hikari, which I think is technically way more nutritious for them and helps them grow, but maybe not as palatable. I don't know why that is. There's one of my jumbo. That's a jumbo tossai. That's in the 40s. Look at the shape on that thing. It's crazy. Very beautiful fish with lots of potential. It's on the right hand side. That's from Sakai. I've posted about that one before. That's the one that I spotted in the batch really early and that suddenly developed. Here's some of the jumbo tossais going by. So yeah, maybe too many fish in here. At some point I need to make a plan and start selling some more from here. But looking incredibly good. The bulk is just so nice. That wheat germ really helps. Okay, I'll take you to the sales ponds quickly. You can see what's going on over there. Okay, these ponds are still pretty full of fish. I need to move a lot of these on, but it's quite crazy. This is only a 12,000 litre sales setup, but the growth in here is still significant. Even though, you know, I've got a couple of hundred fish in the system now, but obviously really decent filtration. So they are very shy this morning. I think it's also because the water is so freezing cold. Normally they just there we go. On this side, some of them coming up. These ones I feed a mix of tilapia pellet and shogun in the sales setup. So they don't get their curry just because their curry is so blooming expensive. They get a mixture. Gosh, the light here on this phone isn't great. Let's see if we can get these guys to come up. There we go. I mean, they're absolutely freezing and they're still wanting to eat. This time of year I just really do one feed. It's so cold. So lots of fish that still need to get sold. I reckon a good couple of hundred here between the ponds. This is more under shade, so I wonder if we won't be able to see them better here than in the full sun. Some really nice hiratsuris in here as well. So yeah, lots of fish that need to get moved on. Okay, I said I wanted to talk about parasites, and when I turn the filtration off, you can see the bucky showers are off, the air's off. This is the time when I kind of look at the fish to see if there's anything funny going on. So at the same time I'm checking the fish for any kind of lesions or marks that they might have got through knocking onto something, or any kind of wound on the fish. So I'm very careful to kind of see if there's anything developing on the fish that I don't like. At the same time I watch them for scraping. So are they turning on their sides and scraping on the floor? And that's a sure sign of parasites. I mean, obviously you can microscope them and have a look for the parasites, but the first sign that there's something going on is scraping on the floor. With little fish, they could be lying on their side on the floor and then suddenly get up and move when you come near them, or just be very listless. So lots of heavy breathing close to the surface. But one of the big signs is scraping. So that's kind of what I look for as a first sign, just making sure. I microscope all of my ponds possibly about twice a week, just as a matter of routine, to make sure that I can't find any parasites. And the two biggest culprits are flukes and costia, and both have different life cycles and need different treatments. And you've got to get your pond parasite free. So even as you sit watching this video, you don't know what's inside your pond, and the parasites don't always just attack aggressively. They normally kind of are on the fish and then react once you do something to your system. So once you don't do regular water changes, you don't flush your filter, you've got something going on, one of your fish is a bit sick, or you introduce new fish that are stressed out, or there's an opportunity for the parasites to explode, and then they absolutely do explode, and then start attacking the weakest fish in the pond. So you've got to start with a clean pond. You've got to make sure you've got no parasites in the pond, and the two biggest culprits are flukes and costia. As I said, flukes has got a far longer life cycle. There you would treat over the course of, gosh, about 6 days for the treatments. I would do a treatment on day 1 and a treatment on day 6 again, and maybe another treatment on day 12. And there you've got to treat it with a worm-based product. The best one locally in South Africa is called Saponva. That's for flukes. Now, flukes is kind of worm-based, so it's very different to costia. Costia is an absolute bugger. I mean, it's much smaller than flukes. It's almost like a little spinning disc when you look at it under the microscope. That's got a quick life cycle. Every 24 hours it basically doubles. So with that there, you've got to have something in the water that lasts longer than 24 hours, or you've got to treat a couple of days in a row to make damn sure you've got rid of everything. The whole kind of myth that salt treats most of these parasites, complete nonsense. I mean, salt helps with mucus production on the fish. It doesn't get rid of parasites necessarily. Costia I've seen survive up to 8 kilograms of salt per 1,000 litre, and Costia is still surviving. So Costia can live through salt. It's not going to get rid of it. Flukes can live through salt. The salt makes it more tolerable for the fish, so the fish can kind of fight it a lot better. But the fact is, you still got to get rid of the parasites, and the only way to do that is through treatment. So for flukes, my best suggestion to you is treat with Saponva. For Costia, it's a different one. So you can either do malachite green and formalin, but then you've got to make sure that the dosage is correct and that you haven't got salt in the system, because if you've got salt in the system, the dose isn't as effective. The malachite and formalin lives in the system for a couple of days, so that can get rid of it, but you've got to do it for a decent amount of time. The other option to get rid of Costia is potassium, and that you do a couple of days in a row. So literally it's a 4-part treatment that I would do: day 1, 2, 3, and then day 5, and that would get rid of Costia. And I would treat with the potassium with salt in the water at the same time, because there's no effect with potassium and salt. So those are 2 things to look out for, but I can't stress it enough. Make sure that your pond is parasite free as a start, and also don't do crazy things. Don't take friends fish in when they want to give you fish. Don't just buy fish all over the place and just put them in the pond. You are going to ask for trouble at some point, because the parasites that those fish are carrying will automatically explode once something happens in your pond. Once you put new fish in, once there's a problem with your system or a problem with your filtration, you're just asking for trouble. So just be careful about what you do, and also just start from the right place, which is making sure you don't have them in your pond right from the start. And if you can, get a microscope. It's the best thing to make damn sure that you've got nothing on your fish. Okay, I think this video is long enough already. Yeah, I'll try and post more often, but if you enjoy these videos, please like the YouTube channel so that you get the videos all the time as I post. But yeah, thanks for watching.